What's up everybody, Pete with Auto Repair Tips. In this video I'm looking at a 4Runner 08 model. Customer states that they're hearing not grinding but like squeaking coming from the brakes. And if I look through here, I can see these brakes are good and fat, but I'm looking at an excessive amount of brake dust. So I'm going to take them apart and look at it just to make sure that they're not, coming apart or cracked real bad on the inside, and that could be her noise. But if I go to the back and peek through the rim, I can see those brakes are pretty much worn out all the way. That's the one she's probably hearing most of the noise coming from. But like I said, checking out this brake dust here, we're just going to be on the safe side. I'm going to pull it off and look at it just to make sure there's nothing wrong. Put some hip action in it, baby. So just had a quick glance. I can see they're definitely good and fat. They don't even look that old actually. So thickness wise, she's well on the green. So we're good to go on that. I'm gonna pop these suckers off real quick. Just take a look at the brakes and make sure that there's nothing out of the ordinary going wrong in there. Actually, I don't even think I need to pop them off. Looking at the backside, let me get you over here so you can see. And if there was any cracking anywhere, I can see damn near the whole brake. You wouldn't see it somewhere up in here. You would definitely see some cracking in here because they normally crack out. They go out towards the ends. Sometimes they're in the middle, but my past experience of mainly I see them going out towards the ends. So I'm really not going to waste my time. I can see this side too. There is nothing at all indicating that these are even having any issues. Maybe it's the type of brake they use was causing all that brake dust. So I was putting the left front tire back on, and like I was showing you guys earlier, in a visual everything looked good, right? Well, I got the tire on there, and 45-year-old habit of mine, I just spin the wheels after I put them on there. But check this out, I can't hardly turn it, and then it comes off stop. It's not even getting one revolution out of it. This is what it should look like. Looking at the right front, look, one hand is easy, multiple revolutions when I spin it. I can take one hand, just nice and easy, go around it. That would explain the excessive brake dust. I can't take one hand and turn this motherfucker around at all. What's happening is the caliper's locking up. It's heating up that rotor, causing the excessive brake dust, causing that brake noise. But we still have the rear issues that I'm sure she's hearing noise on too, so she's probably getting it from both ends. So I'm recommending a set of calipers, a set of rotors, and pads for the front, and I'm sure I'm going to hear some stink over that. Yes, the right side is doing fine, but you always do calipers in pairs. You never do them as a single. That is just 45 years worth of experience talking, and you're just gonna have to trust me. So looking at these brakes, front side looks thinner than the back side. Let me pull these off and let's take a look at it. Three times the charm. 17. That's the lucky number. Yeah, most definitely. If you can look right here, you can see the backside is definitely thicker than the front side by quite a bit. So looking at it right here, you can definitely see the difference in thickness. The back side is super fat, front side is really thin, which means that when she's applying the brake, she's only getting brake on the one side. This side's not really moving at all. But right down inside here where that brake rides on, it's like thick clumps of crap here. So looking at the back side, as I spin it, the rotor looks pretty good. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. It's not gouged out. I don't see any high and low spots or hot spots. Looking at the front side, same thing. I don't see any bad gouges, anything like that. It's got a nice wear pattern to it. There's nothing indicating that it's out of round. So everything I see so far, I'm just gonna recommend rear pads and new hardware kit. Make sure the pins are all greased up and go from there. So I talked to the customer, the repairs were approved, and here are the parts going on it. Your calipers, part number 192766 and a 192767. We have two rotors. Parts are a BBR 980160RGS and import directs. We just switched over to these, and these have been a real good brake. I've had no issues with them. Whenever I'm doing front calipers on a Yoda, I'll usually take it and crimp the line just to keep any excessive fluid from coming out. But I like to take this bracket off right here, so when you get the new caliper on there, you can wiggle it around. It just makes it easier when you're doing it. I think so anyway. Bracket's held on with a 12. Whenever you're taking this line off, this line's a 10 millimeter. I'm gonna use a line wrench. At all times, when you can use line wrenches, it's a lot better. You don't take that chance of rounding it off. Once you break it loose, if you want to switch over, you can. It's a little faster, but this is just as easy for me. The caliper bolts are 17. Make sure before you put your rotors on, clean them down real good. They always come with a coating on it. It just protects it, because sometimes it sits on the shelf for a long time and keeps it from rusting. So you want to make sure you get that coating off. Whenever I'm doing jobs like this, I like to take the lug nut and I'll put it on. I'll just do finger tight on it. Kind of holds your rotor from flopping around. Makes it easier when you're putting that caliper on. Tell you what, I was telling you guys last video about a dog we just got. It's a Chihuahua, and I don't know. To me, it looks like a Dachshund. It's just the weirdest thing. This thing has got Velociraptor eyes. It is built, the neck is like this long. The eyeballs are like golden yellow with little red dots. And this sucker just wants to eat the crap out of everything. Your feet, your arms, your legs. Grant you, it's a running joke in the house now. We say it's 96 weeks old, but it's not. It's only like about 5 months old. But oh my God, it just attacks constantly. It is crazy. But it's the cutest damn little puppy, I'll give it that. So when you're going back with your caliper, bleeder valve always to the top, just remember that. All right, now we're gonna go with the front brakes. Tell you what, I was telling you guys earlier about the brakes. Check this out. Look how these things are boxed. It's like you're opening a Christmas present. But I'm gonna tell you, I've had awesome luck with these brakes so far. They're called Import Direct, like I was telling you earlier. The quality's really good on the brakes. I don't make a dime off of these if you purchase them. They're not sponsoring this video. I just like the product. We started buying from O'Reilly some time back. We used to buy a lot from Advance, but their system changed the way they take payments and the way they do everything else. So the way they explained it is if I bought 5 things, I had to pay for each one. Wrong or right, I had to pay for it. And then when they finally got me the correct part, I had to pay for that one too. Then we would get our credits back. It could be a day or two, it could be whenever they get processed back through the credit card system. So I'm just curious, if you're another shop out there and you've ever dealt with Advance, do they do that wherever you're at? Leave me a comment and let me know. Or is it just the Advance around here starting to do that? So we switched over to O'Reilly's. Service has actually been better. Parts have been pretty good. It's the same crappy parts anyway, you know that. I don't even really like aftermarket parts, but sometimes you do what you gotta do, right? Putting these pins in, make sure you put the pins through here correctly and you do your guides right. You don't want to have any issues. You see, I've already talking to y'all. I wasn't even thinking what I was doing here. Come on, get in there. You want to make sure that this is not riding against the rotor when it's turning. And there we have it. Sometimes these aftermarket clips, they're just a little bit goofy, is the word I want to say. You just want to make sure everything's on there correctly. And if you have to sit here and finagle it to get it where it's supposed to be, that's what you got to do, right? But like this one here, to me, in my opinion, that's a little close. So I'm going to hold my hands here and I'm going to bend it back just a little bit. All right, we are good. Looking good. Everything's out of the way. Let's go ahead and get the brake line on there now. And this is what I was talking about. With this loose, it kind of gives you the flexibility to just wiggle this and maneuver it around a little bit. If it was bolted here solid, it's just a pain in the butt. That's your pro tip. I got gloves, I should be wearing some gloves. Actually, when I wear those white gloves, they take my thumbs and they curl them in and I can't move them. It's like they freeze up. I've been wearing those black ones and I haven't had any issues with those so far. Somebody made a comment in one of my videos and told me to try them, and I did. A guy came in selling them one day and I said, well, shoot, let me try them. And sure enough, they work. So I don't know who you were, but thank you. Now if I can just remember to wear them. Boom. It's just a rinse and repeat for the right side. When I get that done, I get one of my guys to help me bleed it. The front will be done, and we'll move on to the back. All right, starting on the left side here, I'm gonna get my caliper pusher inner tool. Compliments a snap-on. Let's go ahead and get this brake caliper pushed in. It's moving really easy, and that was one of the things I wanted to watch for to see how it moved in. But it was nice and smooth. This caliper's fine, nothing wrong with that at all. Let's get these clips off of here now. Get off. They're individuals. One thing I have learned in the past is, you know, I did talk really good about these Import Direct people for the brakes, but always keep your old hardware because you never know if something doesn't fit correctly. And I can clean these if I had to and reuse it, but I'd rather go back with new. Same setup. Ooh. We'll match them up. So when you're putting these back on, there's a tab right here. Just make sure that goes to the outside so it doesn't, because if I put it on the inside, if you stick one on the inside, it'll end up smacking up against the rotor and you'll hear a squeaky sound. You hear a squeaky sound. Yeah, that's it, a squeaky sound. Nothing worse than a squeaky sound, right, on brakes. It was a squeaky sound. Can you guys believe it is a few months away from Christmas? Holy crap. I'm not ready for Christmas or cold weather. I am a summertime person. I like the summer. Let's go get some caliper grease. We'll stick it on here so everything works nice and smooth. One thing you don't want to do is overcake it. What I mean by that is just put like an excessive amount on there, because sometimes more is not better. Oops. We didn't see that, did we? Get a little love tap. Look at the difference in thickness. That's just crazy, ain't it? Nothing wrong with a little love tap. Make sure you go back, put a little grease on the pins. Again, don't overkill it. Get the caliper, set it back in place. There are rubber boots. Make sure that they seat in there correctly so the pin goes through the boot. You're not pinching it. Put a little grease on the bottom. Same thing, make sure you don't pinch it. All right. 3 times the charm. So I got the brakes bled and the wheel back on there. And if you remember before, turning with one hand, I couldn't even hardly do it. Now look at it, nice and easy, nice and easy. And we get more than one rotation out of it too. All right, next thing to do is take it for a test drive. All right, on our test drive, everything's doing good. I hit the brakes, it stops, the steering wheel doesn't shimmy. And one of the big things is that she complained about after I talked to her a second time is when she was hitting the brakes, the car would really jerk hard to the left, and now she's going pretty good, just nice and smooth to a straight stop. All right, that is it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.